time. The fuck? Oh. Right. Yeah.
This is the story of a...
God, that's loud. Oh, I didn't mean to skip. Shit. Redo that, it's fine. Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, good start, me. I genuinely don't remember this game at all. I think I'm gonna have to restart the whole thing. Please replay the thing, because I don't remember.
This is the story of a man
it.
named Stanley.
Don't touch it.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I like my work, I just hate my boss.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
I've missed this game, it's been so long. Where the fuck is the meeting room anyway?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
It just speaks to my do the opposite of everything instructed. But it's fine. I followed the instructions.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Want to solve a dispute with a co-worker, let it ball up inside you, take it out passive-aggressively on other co-workers, resent co-workers for not supporting you more, using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Make sure your slide has a slick new graphic header and throw some pepper. Okay. It's very corporate. Synergize core values, expenditures. Monetize free to play. Money, more money, things, but with money to buy more things. Graphs about graphs and money. Okay, okay.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
get mad at me if I just mark a bunch of stuff?
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here. It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Well, that looks evil.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
No, why am I floating? What?
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself?
I thought it would take longer to get to something this
Stanley is as awake right now
as
he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back.
What?
The fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job.
What?
Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
how game triggers a mental breakdown real quick, and I'm still in the car park.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Did I die?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
Oh, did I just...
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the
jump
body
out
of
a
a
window?
man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
Is that
And
me?
although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Run away from him? She just left him there? Just left him on the side? I looped back? What? Okay. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
He got killed real quick. I sped run that dare. Holy crap. What the fuck?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he
we'll
entered
follow
the door
him.
on his
We'll
left.
just follow the instructions this time. Or not. Ignore the man.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
We're gonna go up this time.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Not very fancy. Oh, it's a fancy bathroom. Extreme bathrooms. Bath guy testifies in the trial of the century. Tired of getting ash on your porcelain? I think it's ash. And faucets, pipes. Hashtag FF shoots? The fuck? Absolute fuck. To be rich is a crime, to commit crimes isn't it rich? What a life it would be to just have to pick just one. Okay, well. To know, I guess. The beige pages.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Can we not play it? No! Let me play it.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. "2845.
Okay. God.
Yet incredibly, by simply
Game's
pushing
just not a
random
good thing
buttons
for
on
me.
the
It's like
keypad,
someone
Stanley happened to input the
can't
correct
follow basic
code by
instructions.
sheer
It's
luck.
just dangerous.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
The newly opened passage. What the fuck? Oh. Okay. In we go, I guess. The lift. I guess in we go.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Okay, that's not a safe elevator. Holy shit.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape mind control facility. That's a tough one. We'll ignore that and blindly walk through here, I guess. To the mind control facility we go. This doesn't look like it's gonna end
The lights
terribly.
rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Okay, let's go forward, I guess.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Where freedom meant nothing. Fired? Employee fired? But where are they all? Is everyone just not here? It's just empty. At least they don't seem to have toilets tracked. That's like a plus on the whole. That would be much worse.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
I feel like I'm being mind controlled right now.
He refused to believe
I'm like
it.
literally
He
just
couldn't
following everything
accept
the voice
it.
says.
His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was
like
unthinkable,
blind.
wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power
Wait, are we
over
destroying
another
it? I
human
feel like
life,
that's kind of dangerous.
for he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Hey, power to the people, Stanley, I guess. Is it through this door? No, not through that door. I guess facility power is probably the answer to that question.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Pressing the off button is just gonna, like, be the only thing that does it. I don't feel like off and then it's over. It's gonna do it, but... Okay. Guess it did. Maybe?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Okay.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing.
Okay.
Stanley stepped through the open door.
I wonder what happens if I just stand here for a second. Is he gonna get, like, super mad at me? Is the door gonna close? Just gonna wait and see. Walk away a bit. Back into the dark. Nope, okay. Doesn't seem to really care if we don't go through. So that means we're going through.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him.
Good
This
for
was
Stanley.
exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
I beat the game. For me.
All of his co-workers were gone. What
The
could it
opposite
mean?
now.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, new content! Let's
Oh.
go!
New content? What does that mean, new content?
Into the new content we go. Oh, it's taking us on a little gate thing.
Hello,
Okay.
and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
What's this?
As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in The Stanley Parable Ultra
New
Deluxe.
content.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
We going up in the elevator? Am I just trapped in the elevator?
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
I love how sarcastic this guy is. It's like my spirit animal.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if them... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Gimme the content, Stanley.
The
All right.
jump circle.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
In and out. This shouldn't be funny. This shouldn't be as funny as it is. Oh, did I jump too much? Or was that the only amount of jumps I got? Was that like... I only got 36 jumps or whatever it was.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Oh, another elevator. Do we get to wait as long as the last?
Another
Oh,
elevator.
no, it just moves this
Stanley,
time.
I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Wonder how long we... Thank you for enjoying the new content.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally. What do you say, friend?
Sorry, 2 minutes. I just need to make a phone call. Oh, let me sort this my head more. Camera back on. Okay. That up so I don't get my phone crashing again. Oh, nothing seems to want to work right now. Okay, camera will be back in a minute. It's being a bit of a pain. But oh, this is not. This is the new content.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
Okay, okay. Let's have a little look around first. Oh, we could go through there though.
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine.
Oh, he made.
Oh, never mind. You're not a dog.
Made for us. Okay, okay. I'm interested now. He said it made. Coffee nut. Okay. Wait, this is just a whole. Ow. What's wrong with this thing? Just having a bit of a hissy fit, if that's what's happening. Might be what's happening for everything I own right now. Wait. Oh.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
What the hell? Fucking sorry, there's some...
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the
Sounds
launch of
healthy,
the
sounds
Stanley
healthy.
Parable on PC.
Sorry, still trying to fix some stuff at the same time.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Sorry again. Seem to be getting a bit of... 2 seconds, sorry. Okay. Sorry, the camera seems to not want to come back on for a minute because the software seems to have broke. Or is stuck updating more accurately, but hey. And my sound, I think, because nothing still annoying. Okay, that's back at least. One thing, right? Okay. It's like a little stone relaxation
And over
room.
here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Ah, what was the crash for? Suspicious crashing somewhere, but hey ho. We just not wait. Thank you. Two seconds. Hopefully this will have now fixed itself. Morning. Okay. Just find what I need to find. Sorry about this. Reason maintenance.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable
Fuck's sake.
is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
It was only 9 out of 10. Surely it's better to leave the best to last.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again.
What's he want from me now, though? Oh.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Oh, this looks a bit more dringy.
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
I have
Honestly, I
some
could not
dog
be bothered
problems.
to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine what I'd
Profound
have to stick
philosophical insights? Okay, okay. It's a take. It's a take. Not sure if it's the right take, but it's a take. Now, there's a lot of reviews, though. Negative, negative. Oh, positive. Negative, not recommended.
Let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
No, not the Stanley parable. Oh, it's in the water.
You constantly have to stop doing
he's
anything
finally...
so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening.
No, we're just looping on an eternal update. Okay.
A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and
May
give it
just
a
have
shot.
to restart.
I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the
do I have
players
to
have
start
been
the game
asking
again?
for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness,
The camera
that's
is not
what
that
they're going
important
to do.
anyway.
Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see...
Oh, but I don't want to skip. But I assume this is where we're going now.
You've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years until...
Okay, we'll hit skip button. Wait, are we just skipping?
You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games.
Oh my god.
Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more...
Oh no, he's doing it again.
That, of course, you need
he's doing it
description of
again.
but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think.
Oh no,
So
he's not
my
gonna
theory is that
stop.
any
He's
choice
not gonna
you've
stop.
ever made
Just
is
stop.
simply a
Just
series
stop.
of
Just
choices
stop.
made by the person who you are, or
Oh,
were,
no.
or will be
This is
at
like...
the time of having
No,
made said
this
choice.
is... No.
That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your great gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once. That you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first, I was leaning towards
Oh my god.
manifesto,
Shut
but now
up.
I'm going to circle around
Stop talking.
and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has
Be
much
quiet.
more of a treatise vibe to it. But
Holy
wouldn't you
crap.
say that
How long does this
manifesto
go
just
on?
has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history.
Oh my Jesus.
and
Okay, we're skipping this.
Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right.
How
at
many
your
times do
fingertips
we have
go,
to skip
"Poof,
this
it's all over."
until
Oh, I
we
can't wait
get
see
to the
what
next
Cookie
point?
9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review. So
Okay, we're skipping. I don't...
I would even
But how long will he go on if I don't skip?
particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How
Okay, no, we're skipping.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go?
Oh, for fuck's sake, am I just trapped until I hit the skip button?
I feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we...
Do I just starve to death listening to this guy ramble?
I think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window, or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere?
We're skipping.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls.
Skipping, surely at some point.
Stanley, you're back.
Oh, it's getting dark.
Oh my goodness, I have someone to talk to again.
Stanley, oh, the tree's dead.
I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time.
Oh my God, no.
Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking,
just start
saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all.
Oh my God, no. Oh, it's just black.
Hello, it's you. You're here again.
Tree's dead.
I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you.
Oh my God, I want out! I want out! I want out!
There is only the...
Let me out! Please? Hello? Man? Yes. Oh my God, no, no, ow, 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 no, ow, 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 stop, 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 ow.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny.
Oh my God.
It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth.
Oh my God, please let me out of this fucking room. Okay, just let me out.
End is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Okay. Let me out of the room. Oh God. Surely this roof will collapse enough that I'm either dying or getting out. One or the other. Oh, it's become like a stray vibe. It's a bad thing I used my 38 jumps. Oh, I just got an achievement. You can't jump. No, seriously, we disabled it. That's great. Thanks. Is something built over me at this point? Let me die. Why? How am I still alive? What the fuck is that? No. That's no, skipping. Skipping that. Oh, the button's been bent. A hole! A hole! Oh my god, into a desert? The fuck? Okay. Guess we just keep walking. Okay, okay. I just like, oh, it's gone black. Okay, we're back to here. I will be right back, I guess. I'm gonna restart my PC.